Hi guys. Now this kind of stuff I like, these diagnostic codes. Yeah, baby. The meat and potatoes. This is what we want to see. This helps us. We walk up and we get this code. All right. Now, BD, they really don't have um, options to troubleshoot these, but I'll give you some of my um, thoughts. BD, bad board or secondary high voltage failure. Well, if you've been following along with me, you start knowing what to look for and using your meter. EE, bad board. Well, I would make sure that I would examine before I examine the board, I would make sure that everything's plugged in, the board's plugged in, the little ribbon cable from the board to the main other board is plugged in properly. It's not twisted, it's not chafed. Then I would take the back of the board apart, not apart, but just off, and look at the back of the board, or look if the soldering looks dirty, corroded, whatever. Usually means a bad board. A CE, communication error. Again, I would do the same thing. Could be a board. I would check for, things properly being plugged in and things of that nature. IO, ignition failure. I would go right after, make sure I got gas. And before I open up the heater, make sure I got gas. The gas valves are on. All the valves are on. I would try it one or more, 2 times, especially if it's a new heater. Okay? Or we're a propane situation. We ran out of gas. It's a long run, and we get this code. Possibly. I would make sure everything is open. SB, I'm sorry guys, gonna need a keypad. You're going to need parts to, I don't want to say, parts changer, but sometimes you need to stock parts to find out, is it truly the part? Okay? SF, temperature failure. More than likely, where temperature failures, and I see it all the time. We're a big stay right country. All right. 2 things I would say is the wiring on the temperature has shorted due to rubbing. Well, if you pull out the 10%, it could be black. Who's ever doing chemicals is dumping the chemicals probably usually in the skimmer and just shocking the living crap out of it at 10%. If they are, tell them to stop it, because the next thing it's going to do is leak. And again, you need a 10% for this unit. You don't have to screw it in the unit. Just unplug the old one, plug the new one in, and see if it fires up. Then you know you got a bad 10%. HS. Maximum return. Guys, you don't have proper water flow. More than likely. Okay? More than likely, you don't have proper water flow. Somebody turned off the pool pump. Heater stayed running. It's a 400,000, and you didn't backwash in a while, and you're only doing 33 gallons a minute. Minimum you need is at least 40 gallons a minute. Minimum. I say 60, 80. I would like 80 on a 400,000. That's a sweet spot, is about 80 gallons a minute. You want to keep these heaters happy with lots of water flow. HF, flame present. gas valve not engaged. Again, you need your manometer and you need your meter on this one. All right. Hate to tell you, but if you don't have those two pieces of equipment, you're not gonna go where you need to be. I can't help you. LO, water pressure switch. This is all to do usually with lack of flow. Vent pressure switch failure. Again, you got to look for chafing. If the heater is starting to overheat, burnt out the line, vacuum line. Temp sense failure. Yeah, I can see that. IF, again, possibly a no gas. I've seen it lots of time with IF. No gas. Okay. Igniter bad board. Again, you need your meter. You need your manometer. Okay. Hate to tell you. AC. Blown vacuum switch or closed. Remember, when we first started this, the first thing it wants to see is an open vacuum switch. Okay? Not a closed vacuum switch. So if we're ohming out the vacuum switch and it shows a dead short or closed with no vacuum, it's a bad vacuum switch. Okay? Need to replace it. What's this? AO. Blown vacuum switch open. All right? AO basically means that we drew vacuum, but either the blower didn't suck enough vacuum, we got a bad line, burnt line, or we got a bad switch. The way I would diagnose that one is, keep in mind, and I should have said this from the very beginning, when you're doing these tests, working with your meters, you really should turn off your gas, because you don't need the gas open at that point. So, blown vacuum or open switch. Again, you need your meter. What I would do is I would run the system, put my ohm meter on the vacuum, and see if it closes. Now, is it closing because it's bad? Well, the blower is starting to wear out and it's just not creating enough vacuum? Do we have a bad vacuum lines, cracked vacuum lines, burnt vacuum lines? This is stuff we need to look for. All right, guys. Hopefully that was a helpful little tip. Keep in mind there's not much we can do about this, but we can do a lot by that. We definitely need meters and everything else like that. All right, guys. Take care.